Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Artimates Crafty. In this video, let us learn how to draw a tribal African woman with mandala patterns. Before we proceed with today's session, let me assure you that by the end of this video, you will be familiar with solid 44 mandala patterns. You will enjoy the step-by-step process of drawing these patterns.
To see from up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me.
To begin with, dedicate some time to draw the picture with a pencil as shown in the video. I could not show you the step-by-step process of drawing as it will prolong the video duration. Start the first pattern with the earring. Now draw the outer circles for the earring and draw the flower petal pattern inside it and shade the rest of the gap area. Now just below it, draw two curved lines facing each other and draw the curved lines as shown. Here draw the outer circle and the inner circle with a gap of half centimeter. Within the gap area, draw the triangle pattern and inside these triangles, draw small shaded triangle and in between the gap area of the outer triangle, draw horizontal curves and vertical curves.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see from up here.
Now proceed to the necklace pattern, which is same as the earring pattern that I already described. Now let us move on to the next pattern for hairs. This pattern is called as hatching. Please follow the video. Now proceed with the patterns that is spread across the turban. First, draw the outline. In the gap area, draw triangles. Inside these triangles, draw parallel lines. In the upper gap, draw horizontal lines and vertical lines as shown in the video. In the next layer of turban area, draw the outer line followed by the curved pattern inside this area and shade the bottom curve as shown in the video. In the next layer, draw the outer line followed by vertical curves inside its area and in between the gap area of these lines, draw horizontal straight lines to complete the pattern in this layer. In this layer, draw the outer line followed by the spiral patterns inside its area to complete the pattern in this layer. Now in this layer, draw the outer line followed by horizontal and diagonal lines to complete the pattern. In this layer, draw the outer line followed by some small circles. In the next layer, draw the outer line followed by diagonal lines. Now proceed to the next one. Here draw some small arc patterns to complete this area. Move on to the next layer. Draw the outer line followed by some small circles with a dot inside the circle to complete this layer. In this layer, draw the outer line followed by some horizontal lines and some vertical lines as shown in the video. Now let's see the next layer. In this layer, draw the outer line followed by the curvy lines and some dots along as shown in the video. Let's proceed to the next layer. Here draw triangles and in between and inside these triangles draw shaded small triangles as shown in the video. In this layer, draw the outer line and then proceed to draw the pattern as shown in the video. To draw this pattern, please use 3 arcs for one pattern. Now in this layer, draw the outer line followed by vertical and horizontal curved lines and shade the alternate boxes as shown. In this layer, draw the outer line and within the area, draw the left inclined curve lines and dots on each and every line. Now, in these 4 upper layers, follow the video carefully and complete the patterns. Once this is completed, let us move on to the other side of the turban. Now, on the other side, in this layer, draw the arc pattern as shown in the video. Now, just above it, draw the vertical and horizontal lines and make some boxes inside. And inside these boxes, draw a dot. In this layer, draw left inclined curved lines and shade the alternative curves and mark some dots as shown in the video. Unfortunately, I have lost the footage for these 4 layers, so I have drawn it separately for your easy understanding. Here is the first layer. Just proceed and complete the layer with hatching. In the second layer, just above it, draw 2 right inclined curved lines followed by diagonal lines on either side. This being the folded part of the layer, instead of shading, I have used straight lines. To complete the third layer, draw horizontal curved lines with a dot on alternative lines. In the fourth layer, draw horizontal lines. In the alternate space, draw the vertical straight lines to complete the layer. Once done, go back to our actual picture. In this layer, draw the horizontal straight lines and shade the alternate spaces. Move on to the next layer. In this layer, draw the diagonal lines and draw slant lines alternatively so that it looks like an arrow. In the alternate spaces, draw straight lines as shown in the video. Suggest you to watch carefully before you try. Let's move on to this layer. Draw the triangle patterns. Inside these triangles, draw the slant lines. In the upper triangle area, draw shaded dots to complete the pattern. In this layer, draw left inclined curved lines, then draw horizontal lines in the gap area and followed by dots on next curved line. In this layer, draw the flowers randomly and shade the rest of the area. Move on to the next layer by drawing triangles as shown. In between the upper gap area, draw horizontal lines followed by diagonal lines inside. In this area, draw a pair of left inclined curved lines followed by small circles in between them. Now draw these straight lines followed by dots on alternate lines as shown in the video. This being the folded area, as mentioned earlier, just draw straight lines. This layer, divide it into two halves as shown. Now draw triangles in both the halves such that they face opposite to each other as shown. Proceed with inner line for these triangles. Next, draw multiple triangles inside each of the triangles as shown in the video. Let us move on to the next layer. In this layer, draw left inclined pair of diagonal lines and in between the gap area draw small circles, and in the rest of the gap area draw inverted U shapes with line and a dot on top of it. In this layer, draw a pair of horizontal lines. Then, draw a pair of V shape in between these lines. Now, in this area, draw arcs. Now, proceed with midi circles in this gap. Now complete the pattern with these diagonal lines as shown in the video. In the inverted U shape, draw two inverted leaves. After writing the first necklace, thought of writing one more as I felt the neck area was bit empty. So complete the same pattern as instructed for the first one. Now, in the gap area of leaves, draw the arcs and shade the alternative gap. Now, complete the pattern of this layer with these mini circles. Now, let us move on to dress area. In the very first layer, draw the circles followed by a dot inside it. Now, shade the gap area in between the circles to complete the pattern of the layer. Now, let us move on to the next layer. In this layer, divide it into multiple boxes. Inside each and every box area, draw a small box followed by horizontal straight lines. Now, inside this layer, draw triangles with an inner line. Inside these triangles, draw long flower petal pattern and shade the gap area. In the upper gap area of the triangle, draw intersecting diagonal lines to complete the pattern of the layer. In this layer, draw inverted U shape followed by the inner line. In the inverted U shape, draw two inverted leaves. Now, in the gap area of leaves, draw the arcs and shade the alternative gap. Now, complete the pattern of this layer with these mini circles. Please follow the pattern as shown. The pattern for this layer I have shown you separately. Now divide the layer into boxes. Now divide these boxes with 2 vertical straight lines followed by 3 diagonal lines on either side at the top. In this area, draw the parsley pattern, and in the left area, draw long flower petal pattern and ensure to shade the rest of the gap. This completes the pattern of the layer. Now you may also shade the body area so that the patterns pop out nicely, and also shade the lip area with red color marker. After completing the entire picture, I felt like closing the gap area of the earring as well. Please follow the pattern as shown. With this, we have completed the entire picture. Here is the final outcome.